3 months into 2014, and we have updates and some final chapters written on some of our investigations, beginning with troubles in one fire district we first uncovered nearly 2 years ago. After multiple votes by taxpayers to pull the plug on the central Coventry Fire District and legal efforts by the union to stop it, the judge overseeing the case has scheduled a liquidation for May. But it may not be over. Legislation has been filed that may salvage the district in some form, and the union is asking for an emergency stay to prevent the liquidation. One thing is clear. Central Coventry can't and won't continue as it has since it was formed in 2006. Former Central Falls Mayor Charles Moreau, who went to prison in large part because of our reporting back in 2009, got an early prison release in February. But it wasn't a get-out-of-jail-free card by any means. Moreau admitted to taking gratuities from a contractor doing city business, including a furnace for his house that we first reported on 4 years ago. But a federal appeals court overturned the law he was charged under in another case. Last month, Moreau reached a deal with the U.S. Attorney's Office. He admitted to a new charge of bribery in exchange for getting out of prison immediately after serving half of his 2-year sentence. Moreau remains a convicted felon. Our story in December prompted the city of Providence to crack down on a property owner who was running an illegal parking lot. But we wanted to know, was the city going to put some bite behind its bark when it came to fines? Stephen Pulio and Michelle Booten had used this lot on Gano Street for tenant parking for the better part of the last decade, despite a Superior Court decision prohibiting it, and numerous threats by the city to penalize him. But those threats were empty until our story ran. Just weeks after our story, the city went to court and the owners have agreed to stop allowing the parking. But the city had threatened $1 million worth of fines. That process is part of a lawsuit the city filed against the owners, now working its way through Superior Court. Motorists in Coventry are finally getting some relief after the DOT leveled a 6-inch bump right in the middle of a popular highway. It's a bump that seemingly won't go away. The state DOT has tried to fix it several times, but heavy truck traffic on Route 3 at Reservoir Road has caused the pavement to keep bubbling up. Crews came out last fall to level the pavement and put a new coat of asphalt down. And as of last week, it looked good. The real test will come in the summer when heat has contributed to the buckling of the highway. Last month, we discovered hundreds of potential subscribers having a hard time signing up for medical coverage through Health Source Rhode Island. So we went back to find out, has it gotten any better? We profiled Barrington businessman Mike Kelly, who had been enrolled and disenrolled repeatedly, even though he had paid his premiums. Kelly spent dozens of hours on the phone with representatives at the call center with no luck. HealthSource RI Director Christine Ferguson admitted the agency was having stubborn computer problems similar to Kelly's with about 850 people. A spokeswoman tells the Hummel report that number has gradually been whittled down over the past 8 weeks, but several hundred subscribers are still having problems. Kelly tells us he's had no problems over the past 3 weeks. Finally, it's taken nearly 2 years, but renovations to a parking lot right next to the State House are now complete. 2 years ago, we reported on a failed attempt to realign and install a gate in the lower lot adjacent to the State House, used primarily by legislators and staff. The gate was too narrow for some larger vehicles, but the Chafee administration pulled the plug on further funding because of budget problems. That changed last summer when the lot was redesigned and expanded, and the entrance completed. It's been functioning without problem since the beginning of the session. We're off to a great start in 2014, largely because of the feedback and tips we get from you. So keep those emails coming to jim@hummelreport.com. And we'll be right back here next week with a brand new investigation.